straight from the soul with it. Yeah.
So on ESPN LA Radio with Travis Rogers and LZ Granderson, they had a guest in studio, none other than Amin El-Hassan. So Travis Rogers spoke about the gap between the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors when they played one another. Steph Curry played, Kevin Durant played, Klay Thompson played, and he spoke about the gap the Warriors can get to. We all know the Warriors can be down by almost 30 points at the half and just turn the switch on, and they literally close the score, and now they're down by like 6 points. Then they had a lead, and just watching the game the day before yesterday, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, DeMarcus Cousins was just chilling on the sideline. Like, they was laid back. Like, man, it's like they're on another level. It's just another game to them. And the only thing missing was they didn't have a pillow and some blankets. And I could actually imagine them disrespecting teams like that. Okay. So that is when Travis Rogers explained how the Warriors are going on their third title and the Lakers are trying to close that gap. But he stated that the gap didn't seem that huge last night. So that's what Amin El-Hassan chimed in and was like, no, it did seem huge. It seemed the gap was massive. And he said it's not even close. You know, and that's quite obvious as preseason sets and defense will be played totally different in the regular season. Even the score, like when I was watching the game, it was all offense. So once they all play together, then when Cousins come back, shaking my head, man, it's going to be a disaster on that scoreboard. I'm telling you. But Amin explained how the Warriors aren't a great measuring stick for the Lakers, and not even the Rockets or the Jazz. He said the Lakers' measuring stick are teams like the Thunder, the Spurs, the Grizzlies, the Blazers. That's who they up against. So that is when LZ chimed in, and this was his exact quote. LZ stated, I don't think the gap between the Lakers and Houston is as big as it is between the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. He says, I think people are underestimating how much that losing the defensive perimeter and Trevor Ariza is going to affect what they're going to do, and not just defensively, but offensively in terms of running the breaks and spreading the floor. He says, Carmelo Anthony, with how old he is, I'm not necessarily sprinting to, Carmelo Anthony. I disagree with that. Carmelo Anthony can still shoot the ball. He can score. I'm 100% sprinting out there to get to Carmelo Anthony. But if you guys would like to listen to the full audio, get in the description box. But what I say is this. No disrespect to LZ. He's entitled to his own opinion. But to me, this is the perfect example of someone thinking with their emotions and just being mesmerized by the LeBron James spirits. I think they believe what LeBron did in the East will translate over to the West. And I'm not saying it won't, but you got to be realistic. He struggled in Cleveland with both teams, the first team and the second team. It's like they went 7 games with the Celtics and the Pacers. I got people in the comments section upset when I said, how are people giving the Celtics a chance to defeat the Warriors in the finals, but they not giving the Lakers a chance to defeat the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals or the playoffs? And LeBron is supposed to be, the so-called best player in the world. I'm not the biggest LeBron James fan, but LeBron is 10 times better than Al Horford and everybody on that Celtics roster, for that matter. He has 3 players with championship experience on his team. The Celtics don't have that right now. They don't have 3 players on their team with NBA championship experience. You only have Kyrie Irving. I'm speaking of LeBron James, Rajon Rondo, and JaVale McGee. Then you have Ingram, who's in his 3rd year, just like Jaylen Brown. We all know that Ingram is better than Jaylen Brown. Kuzma is in his 2nd year, just like Tatum and Hart. And Kuzma is just as talented as Jason Tatum. So there's really no excuses. Like, stop the excuses. Like, just stop the excuses. If you believe the Celtics can compete with this Warriors team, it's just even. You just have to go down the roster. But they're already making excuses just in case the Lakers lose. No, we don't want excuses. If we lose, you got to give. I will say this. That's why I'm saying the Lakers have to find a way to beat the Golden State Warriors. I know how much of a challenge the Golden State Warriors is, and you got to be realistic. But there's always ways to defeat a team. There's ways to defeat that Warriors team. But we see Kyrie Irving is confident. So I would like to see LeBron just as confident as Kyrie Irving is. But as far as this gap between the Rockets being closer than the Warriors, I don't think so. The Rockets, they still have Clint Capella, who did exceptionally well. You know, he did an exceptionally well job protecting the paint last season and just being active on defense. Then you have CP3, who is a great defender as well, who made 7 NBA All-NBA defensive first teams. And that was 2017. That was just 2017. That was last season. So people don't take all these, they don't take defense serious. Like, they don't take all defensive teams, first all defensive teams serious. But, that's due to programming at ESPN. But being an all-NBA defender means you're a lockdown defender and you pride yourself on the other end of the floor. Kobe and MJ, who are the top 2 greatest players ever, are 9-time NBA all-defenders. PJ Tucker is not a terrible defender, but even with Trevor Ariza in 2016, 2017, when Chris Paul won NBA all-defensive first team, they still finished 17th in defense with Trevor Ariza. So I just believe they have to make whatever adjustment that they made the following season that allowed them to finish 6th in defense the following season. And I agree with him, man. I think our measuring stick would be the OKC Thunder, the Grizzlies, the Blazers, the Nuggets, the Spurs. Even though I think like the Spurs would be the surprise team because Greg Popovich, man, shout out to Greg Popovich and the Spurs scouting team, the scouting department, because just like Rob Pelinka, they find gems in the draft. Like, you be like, man, who is this dude? Like, you never know who this guy is. Like, who in the world is this guy? But, it's all on LeBron James. It's all on if LeBron James can play in this Warriors similar style system. And if Ingram steps up, that will determine how great this Lakers team could be. And people, will say, oh, you don't have no faith in the team. No, it's just I've seen basketball my entire life. So I don't think with my emotions and then be disappointed. I just study too much basketball and coaches. Then I mix that with logic. And saying the Lakers gap isn't far from the Rockets or, the Warriors, that's like saying, that's basically saying the Lakers are going to get a 2nd seed. The Rockets had a 2nd seed last season. So saying the gap ain't that far would mean the Lakers will get anywhere between a 3rd or 5th seed. And I think the gap is just a little wider than that. That's just my opinion. Like I said, I think the Lakers will get anywhere between a 6th to an 8th seed, but that's just my opinion, and that can change when the season starts. But I do think the Lakers will be competitive every night, and that's all I ask for. But y'all get in that comment box. Y'all let me know. Do y'all think the gap between the Lakers and the Houston Rockets is closer than the Lakers and the Warriors? Get in that comment box. Like, share, subscribe. I'm out. Okay.